Well, as you can see, it's light. I've got to start doing these videos when it's daytime because, as you probably guessed by yesterday's video, I get too tired. I can't make videos that late at night. So just to clear some stuff up, I'm actually on a retreat right now. I just arrived at this retreat. There's a viewing point, so I'm trying to find the viewing point, but I can't find it. It's beautiful anyway, but I can't find the viewing point, and now I'm starting to get scared of cougars. So I'm gonna head back. But first, so yesterday I made a video about, I'm in Vans and I'm trying to go down this slippery slope. I'm at a monastery, by the way, so I think I went too quiet. And I think there might be no technology rule. So, but needless to say, I'm in the woods. So yesterday, I talked briefly about going from dust to dust, from the earth. From dust you came, and to dust you will return. I didn't really make clear. I wasn't really clear what I was talking about. That is a verse from the Bible. So the Bible, it starts off with that verse, coming from Genesis, a book called Genesis, which is the first book of the Bible. And basically, if you don't know, the idea of Genesis is, it starts with humanity and God living in complete blissful heart. If I see a cougar, I'm going to hang up, just so you know. So the Bible starts off with man and woman, humanity living in complete bliss with God, complete harmony. And this is in a garden called Eden, which you may have heard of. And things are going great. Ultimately though, and the story of what Christians call the fall is the man and the woman essentially want to become God. And they ate an apple, well, they ate a piece of fruit, sorry, we don't know it's an apple. They ate a piece of fruit from the one tree that God told them not to eat from. And I think the general idea is, God said, don't do that. And what do humans do? Humans say, I'll do that. They could do whatever they wanted, except one thing. And they decided, they're essentially lied to by the serpent in the garden. And that's the story of what's called the fall. The serpent lied to them and said, but the nature of temptation, the nature of what evil is, there's always there's a shard of truth in the lie. And this is what the serpent said. The serpent said, basically, did God really say that? And that kind of plants the seed of doubt in Eve, the woman's mind, and her and Adam eat the fruit. And by doing so, they receive knowledge of good and evil. This spins the whole harmonious relationship between creation, humanity and God out of control, and God issues a series of curses. Although I'm not sure whether God issues the curses or God just says, well, as a result of these actions, this is what's going to happen to you. But in God's curse speech to humanity, he says, from dust you came, and from dust you shall return. So that's what I was getting at yesterday. But of course, that's not the end of the story. That's the beginning of the story. That's where we find ourselves. As soon as we gain consciousness as people from infants, we kind of know that we have these choices to make, and more often than not, we're probably going to make the wrong choices. So, as generally speaking, I'm not a neurologist, but as humans gain consciousness, we actually start at the start of the Bible. We recognize the start of the Bible, that there's an imbalance. So, what I was struggling to say last night, or in yesterday's video, because of my fatigue, my self-imposed fatigue, was Ash Wednesday is taking this idea from dust you came and from dust you shall return, which initiates the Bible, and we remember that at the start of the Lenten journey. Like we join in at from dust you came and from dust you shall return, but that's not how the story ends. That's not how the story ends, and that's what we'll be heading towards on this road to Easter. I've just been on a 2-hour drive. quick update, the spending money thing, haven't spent any money. That one's an easy one. That's also a self-serving one. That's one that benefits me ultimately. Hopefully by the end of 40 days, I've saved money. So don't get too excited about that. I'm not a hero for doing that. The sleep one, again, on paper, I'm not a hero. I'd say most of the world gets up way before I do, or I am doing, to go to work. But yeah, it's a struggle for me. I've been tired all day. I've just made it to this monastery for a weekend retreat. And I'm hoping to go for a quick nap now, which I don't think is cheating, but it might be cheating. Yeah, so that's the story of the fall. And maybe when I watch this video back, I'll probably do a video tomorrow talking about how confusing this video was. But for now, that's my update for Lent, day 3.